Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and I want to make a brief comment on the ongoing debate about how India is going to respond to Donald Trump's threats on penalties. As you all are aware, Donald Trump has announced that he's going to impose 25% tariffs on all Indian exports to the United States. But in addition to that, he's going to impose penalties on India for buying Russian oil and Russian weapons. There is no clarity on whether there is also the penalty on India being a member of BRICS. Initially, he said that those countries that work against America's dollar will be charged 100% tariffs. Obviously, that has not been implemented. And then he also threatened to impose a 10% additional tariffs on countries which are members of the BRICS countries. That was not mentioned when Indonesia's rate was decided at 19%. And so we don't know whether he's also talking about penalties on India for being a leader of the BRICS. But let's talk only about the penalties, because it's quite possible that eventually India will have a free trade or a bilateral trade agreement with the US. And there's a pretty good chance that the 25% tariffs will come down to 15%. But on this penalty issue, there have been various reports in the media, and there is an absence of clarity. And I think that Indian leadership should speak up to make this very clear. So first, the reports came that in response to Donald Trump's threat, 4 Indian government-owned oil companies like Oil India, Indian Oil Company or Corporation, Bharat Petroleum, and others have Hindustan Petroleum. All of these state-owned companies had stopped buying Russian oil. So that was the news that came out, and that they were buying on spot markets in the Middle East. So there was this entire news cycle in which everybody kept saying that India has stopped buying Russian oil in response to Donald Trump's threat, including when Donald Trump was asked, he said, that's a good development. I think they have stopped buying Russian oil, but he also kept the possibility open that India had not done so. He said, as far as I know, I think that's a good thing. And then we have this new cycle of news, primarily driven by articles in the New York Times and Bloomberg, that Indian officials have basically indicated that India is going to continue to buy Russian oil in spite of Donald Trump's threats, that India will not stop buying Russian oil. Unfortunately, neither the New York Times nor Bloomberg gives the names of who these Indian officials are who are speaking to the foreign media. And as you all know, in India, nobody likes these media. They don't trust the so-called Western media. So I was wondering, why should anybody else trust them? But anyway, we don't know who these officials are. But there was one statement made by India's spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs, and that is what I will talk about, Mr. Randhir Jaiswal, in response to a question. So this is not a statement that the Ministry of External Affairs is making. They have an opportunity to say something when somebody asks a question, and this is what Mr. Randhir Jaiswal said. Addressing a weekly presser on Friday, spokesman Randhir Jaiswal said India's broader stance on securing its energy needs was guided by the availability of oil in the markets and prevailing global circumstances. Very strange language. What do you mean availability? There is available oil. There's a lot of oil available out there. The prices vary. And then there are variants. Like, for example, if you bought oil from Venezuela, it would cost more to bring it to India. So if the market price is available at the same price from, say, United Arab Emirates, you would prefer to buy from UAE because the cost of transportation would be low. Those are market conditions that I understand. But what are prevailing global circumstances? This is not very clear. And of course, like I said, the Indian mainstream media is brain dead. No one bothered to have a follow-up question saying, what do you mean by prevailing global circumstances? Does that also include threats by Donald Trump? So the Indian government, the only named person that I can find right now as of today on August 3rd at 11:30 a.m. India US time is Randir Jaiswal's this statement that India will continue to buy oil. He also did say that India is good friends with Russia and all of that, but did not say that we are going to buy Russian oil because we are friends with Russia. He said we will buy oil which is in the interest of India's national interest, because obviously India is one of the biggest consumers of energy given the size of its population, and therefore they will continue to buy the cheapest oil that is available to them. But I don't know what global circumstances really mean besides global markets, which he already mentioned. So unless we say that, well, this is not a very well thought out answer, this is India's response. It would be much better if a senior Indian spokesperson, either the Minister of External Affairs or the oil minister, or even the Prime Minister, could send out a tweet or something out there saying that we are simply going to ignore Mr. Trump's threats. Or even if you don't have to mention Trump, don't mention the United States, don't mention the penalties, just say that we will continue to buy Russian oil. There's a misunderstanding in the global media that we have stopped doing that. But anyway, India has deniability, and they have got that message across through unidentified sources. So let's assume that New York Times and Bloomberg's reports are correct. So then, yes, India has indicated to the world market it will continue to buy Russian oil. And then now the ball is in Donald Trump's court. Let us see what Donald Trump does. For those of you in India who are watching the cricket match, things don't look very good at the moment. Let me just check. The last time I checked, England needed 57 runs. I think it is tea time right now, with Joe Root looking very, very good on 98. And Harry Brook was out for a well-made 111. And Indians are really toiling hard, but things look really, really bad right now. The score is okay. They have come back, I think, from tea, whatever it is. Akash Deep is bowling at the moment. The score is 317 for 4. England needs 57 runs with 6 wickets in hand. Well, all the best to Team India. You can still win it from here. Thank you for watching Conversations. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your socio-political network.